She introduced me to the insurance dynamic financial industry, and we're both coming to you from GFI, which is called Global Financial Impact. We're here. We're live tonight. I'm so excited. I can't wait for you to have this young lady up. She's out of Brooklyn, New York, Jamaican pride, New York's finest. Here we go. She's a retired ICU nurse. I'm also a nurse. She's my sister in every way. I can't wait for you to see her. Her name is Camille Scott Wiles, representing from Jamaica here in Brooklyn. Let's get it on, y'all. Let's go. Hey. Yes. Oh, 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 oh. Hey. All right. Let's see. Where you at, girl? Hey, sis, where you at? There you go.
Hi.
Hey. All right.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Hi,
All
Vanessa.
right. All right. All right. Hello again, my sister. How you
Hello.
doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad to be here.
Good.
Thank you.
Good. Good. My cousin here, Samuel Walker the third. What's happening, brother? You doing? Just like and subscribe. Whatever you got to do, baby. We're here for you. It is such a pleasure to see you again. It's an honor, actually. We're both nurses from out of Brooklyn. I'm in Atlanta right now, but I'm moving back. But I've done work in Brooklyn, lived in New York for 10 years. This young lady is Brooklyn bound,
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn born, Brooklyn everything. What say you, my love?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for inviting me here. Yes, we had a great last live at 1 p.m. It was
Yes.
great. We talked about a lot of various products, but definitely I wanted to be here to encourage everyone here that listen as nurses. We have our boots on the ground, our finger on the pulse. We know the rhythm of the streets. And
Yes.
so being that we are financially educated, we have this knowledge, this innate knowledge that not many people know of. We want to bring it out to you. We want to equip you of the same knowledge, because as nurses, our first job is patient advocates. Now, in financial services, we are client advocates as well. But we do understand that there's so much lack of knowledge out there, so much ignorance out there when it comes to finances. And there was things I didn't know. But coming into especially GFI, Global Financial Impact, and having the mentors that I have, man, has my life changed. So I just want to bring that forward. And of course, Vanessa is one of those people that I've brought it forward to, and she took onto it like white on rice.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So with
Thank you,
that
my
being said,
love.
I'll
Thank
help as
you.
many people as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our goal. Being that we're both nurses, we see the good side of hospitals and we see the bad side of hospitals. And
Yes.
there's a reason why we both left nursing. Well, I still have my foot in the pot, but my mentor here, Camille, she left nursing and she's now retired.
Yes.
And she's in her early stages of beauty because, as we mature, we become more beautiful. So yes. So so my foot is still in there. I still have my pulse in there, and I'm telling you, Camille has her pulse in there because she's one thing, and she's humble.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. She's not only dynamic and fabulous, beautiful, she's humble. So she comes from a background that a lot of people have not experienced. But like I said, this is an introduction to us. We did one today at 1. Thank you, son of Catherine, too. Thank you for being here.
Welcome.
We look for, yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just two nurses talking about financial wealth and getting you as much money as possible so your family does not have to suffer when you close your eyes forever. That's what we see. As a nurse, we both seen a lot of carnage when it comes down to people at the end of their lifespan. And at that time, a lot of times people they can't even bury their loved ones. So, they leave this huge impact. You live a long, fruitful life. And then at the end of your life, your family has to worry about, well, how do we bury grandma? How do we bury auntie? How do we bury these people? So a lot of times, literally, they go to GoFundMe, right? So people, or they have cookouts or things like that. Hello, Baruki. Hello, Black FX65. Hello, Baruki girl. Hey. I know you're about to get off from work. I hear it. I feel it. Baruki has been here again. Like I said, Baruki is here. And she used to work with me at a medical facility in New York. Nice. So she's very, very curious about life insurance. She wants to get her family into life insurance. And you know what? I think it'd be a perfect time for me to close the lips and let the expert talk and let her go off. First of all, let's talk a little bit about your background, Miss Camille. We'll talk about your background, and then we'll go straight forward into giving some education to the nurses that are here, the people that are here. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Vanessa. Okay, so my background pretty much is I was a nurse for 13 years, ICU nurse, and I recently was able to retire as of February of this year due to, of course, a lot of trial and error, of course, learning things that I didn't know. But of course, it all started with the crisis, the financial collapse in 2008, which completely woke me up. And I believe I was around 26 at the time. And around that time too, I didn't realize my parents were getting sicker and sicker. I noticed they were slowing down quite a lot. And of course, they were even more worried, thinking about it now, just in what they would say and the advice they would give us. And I'm like, well, what's going on? But they knew something was happening. And come to find out that my mother had stage 4 pancreatic cancer while I was in nursing school, which, by the way, me and my mother were both trying to get into nursing after the 2008 collapse, which I was in real estate at the time. I was even going for my life insurance license then because I wanted to be a financial professional then. But when the collapse happened, I said, oh my goodness, I had to regroup. What am I going to do? So I got a scholarship into a nursing program. I was trying to do it with my mother. I got in, my mother didn't. And so by the time I graduated, I found out she had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. At the same time, my father, who had already had 4 stents in his heart, prostate cancer, and then kidney cancer after that, he just would have the organs taken care of or removed. He had successful surgeries. He didn't think anything of it, of course, and he was, strong as hell. But eventually it was a stroke that took him out. And I literally, within a few weeks before my 30th birthday, I ended up burying both of my parents. They were both 62. And because he was the patriarch of the Wiles family, my mother was the matriarch of the Scott family, I became the matriarch of both. And I became the go-to person, the one who had the stable job, the career, and of course, this financial background from real estate, and of course, the only financial stable person amongst my siblings. So I became the go-to person. And because of that, I had this immense pressure on my shoulders, but it was almost as if they prepared me and they raised me to be in that position. So from that position, I was able to hustle hard in nursing. I did home care. I did, while working in the hospital, I was working 2-3 jobs, just like you guys, many of you guys are doing right now. And I was exhausted to the point where I even turned out to be anemic, severely anemic. As a matter of fact, come to find out, I had fibroids, huge fibroids. I didn't even know. I was just working, not realizing, oh, I'm bleeding out for no reason because of these fibroids. So I had to start tracking back, taking care of myself. And then, of course, COVID came. And I also, by the way, dropped 100 pounds. This was because I did not want to go out like my parents did. I didn't want to develop cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So I dropped a lot of weight. People who see me now, I did not even look like this 10 years ago, let alone 6 years ago. So I got healthy. And of course, health is wealth. And so once I got my health together, and I wanted to mention too, once you get your mind right when it comes to finance and when it comes to health, your body gets right after that. And then your money gets right soon after that. So there is a step, there's a process. So mind right, body right, then your money gets right. And everything else just is smooth sailing from there. So for me, once I got into once COVID came, and I ended up doing ICU nursing full time, because of course that's where the biggest need was. That was when I saw the changes in healthcare, and I said, listen, I need to plan my exit. I need to get out, because it was getting worse. Not that it was because of the patients. Of course, we know the pressures of the patients. We know the pressures of what the doctors are going through, what the families are going through at that time. But it was the administrators. It was who was running these hospitals. It was the fact that the dynamics of healthcare was changing, and now they're dictating to us what healthcare is on the front line. And I knew something was absolutely wrong with that. Because I'm like, who are these people telling us? And they're just in a cubicle. They've never taken a CPR class. They've never done an EMT course. They've never done anything related to healthcare. But because they have access, they know someone who put them in their position, or better yet, they went to Harvard or Yale or went to some Ivy League college, and they were able to get a high-paying job. And now these other corporations, like these health insurance companies, are dictating to hospitals how much what kind of medication they can get, first of all, how much they can use, how much they can dispense, what supplies we can use. It was crazy. The fact that a manager is screaming at us, telling us we can't use certain PPEs and how many we can use a day. It's like, what? We're dealing with infectious disease. Now we're dealing with RSV. We're dealing with COVID, and we're dealing with the flu. And then tuberculosis started to come up on the floor like crazy. And then there's the mental illness. That's the pandemic that no one is talking about right now. People are under pressure. You could walk into the ICU at any given night, and it's like bedlam. Every other patient needs to be restrained, whether it's medically, chemically, or physically, and they need a one-to-one observation. It's crazy. So it's gotten worse since COVID. And COVID is still very much still alive, still very much a factor. I still wear a mask when I go through the airports and when I travel. It's still around. So guys, listen, it's getting worse. So I had to plan my exit. And when I started to, when I got my life insurance license, and of course, how I got into life insurance, I got into a group called the Highest Paid Nurses, which was run by nurse Lois Tuam. She's on Instagram. Wonderful community of nurses who not only want to think of other side hustles, but also want to do strike nursing if they want to do strikes, if they want to get other contracts that are pretty much well-paid contracts, close enough to COVID rates, but not so much, because of course they don't have those rates anymore. So with that being said, this community is a great community for nurses to just be able to up their game and also get educated financially. And so Lois does a great job of that. And with this community, I was able to go on trips with them. I went to St. Lucia. There was another trip I had went on with them. But these nurses are such a wonderful group of nurses, but also they have an entrepreneur mindset that, of course, Lois is, attracted, because, that's what she embodies. We are attracted to that. And of course, a lot of us as nurses, we are entrepreneurial by heart. That just comes naturally. And of course, we have a leadership ability that just comes naturally too. Not all nurses are good leaders, but we do have that leadership ability. So once we tap into that, we can apply it to anything. And that includes life insurance. So through this community, I was able to learn about life insurance. And here's a few things I didn't know. For one, life insurance is very lucrative. Number two, we can apply our skills, our leadership skills, like I mentioned, to life insurance. We're natural nurturers. We're educators. We can use what we learn in life insurance to educate our clients, just like as nurses, we educate our patients. Same thing here. Also, you can get residual income for life for every single policy you've ever written. This is something I didn't know. I said, wait a minute, you mean I can really build a business here? Yes. And guess what? It's heavily regulated. Life insurance as an industry has been around for hundreds of years. There are tax codes to protecting life insurance, because once again, policies cannot be taxed. These are vehicles that the wealthy use to protect their assets and to secure their legacy for generations down the line. Now, how is it that they know about this stuff, but we don't know? It's on purpose. It's on purpose. So people like me and Vanessa, people who look like us, especially people who look like us, need to know about these things. And so we're here to educate you, especially nurses who are burnt out. Totally understand that. But of course, once you know what I know, once you know what Vanessa knows, yeah, you can still go to work but you'll go to work with a certain zeal and happiness, knowing that you planned your exit and you know that one day you'll be able to walk away, just like I did February of this year, and said, adios, my contract's over. I don't need to do anymore.
Right.
I don't need to work. I don't need to put my license on the line, compromising myself, taking on more patients, because they started doing that. They started putting on more patients. They
Yeah.
started putting on the pressure. So I said, no, no more. I don't have to deal with that. Adios. And my colleagues was like, you serious? Camille, you really gonna leave? Yes. Okay,
Yes.
$80, $90 an hour. So
120 and
and
you know.
I'm out, because it's not worth it. Like,
It's not.
at the end
It's
of the day,
not.
and
I kid
especially
you
when you
not.
have an exit plan. So
Hey, Nurse
that's what I want.
Lois is here.
Hey,
Hi,
hey,
Lois. How you doing? Hey. Glad to see you
glad to see
here. Thank
you.
you for joining. Oh, yeah, I could have a three-way. That'd be great. But we're talking we're talking about just being nurses, and we have someone here that I used to work with, Barbuke. She is very, very interested in joining GFI. Now, what is it about GFI
Mm-hmm.
that caught your eye? Because I know what happened with me with symmetry. They did
Oh,
the education was wrong, or they gave you a
mm-hmm.
script and said just calling leads that have been called 60, 80 times a minute. And a lead is a person that has, and for anybody who doesn't understand a lead is a person that showed some interest in the products, the insurance products, but they're like, oh, okay, maybe not right now. You hang up the phone, and 2 years later, they're still calling you from that company. And I was like, this is not where I want to
Right.
be. Tell them about what makes GFI so important, because I know, but I want the expert to
Yeah.
explain when she first went to GFI and what she noticed, how much she made, all of that. We're going to get to the T.
Girl, I'm so glad you mentioned symmetry. I'm so glad, because the company I came from was FFL too. So we both came from companies that we saw that it was very inadequate, and we wanted something different.
Right.
Now, the beautiful part about GFI is that we work directly with a group of successful nurses. Lois being one of them. Also, our direct mentor, Levi Mboni, was a nurse for over 20
Yeah.
years. As an oncology nurse, this man is making millions a year in financial
Yeah.
services. Every single insurance carrier knows this man, respects this man. I've seen him walk into a room and every carrier shook his hand. Every representative shook his hand, because they knew how much money this man made for the companies. When I saw that, I said, okay, I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
Plus, my mentor was the one who introduced me to him. Levi is my mentor's mentor, so that's how I ended up meeting him. And he was immediately impressed with me, and I was impressed with him. So immediately, I knew I was in the right place. The leadership, that's the key. Also, being part of a great group of nurses that I get to work with every single day, where I get to implement my professionalism from nursing into this industry. So also, GFI as a company, we are truly a global company. Not only do we operate in all 50 states, we operate in Mexico, Canada, and we're also going to be operating in 30 other countries. We are growing rapidly, especially in the Caribbean, Africa, and of course, Southeast Asia. We're definitely trying to get in the hookup and moving into it, because we work with over 20 carriers. Some of them are international conglomerates, such as BMI and Emeritus. As a matter of fact, Emeritus allows us to write policies for those who just have a work permit and a visa, which is incredible, especially if you're already working in the United States and you pay taxes, because people don't notice having a life insurance policy can expedite the citizenship process in the United States.
Yeah.
Not many people know that. So for migrants who are here, they're working, they're contributing to the United States. Essentially, they can expedite their citizenship process. And because they don't know this, this is our job. This is what we do. We have to come in and say, hey, listen, you have this option. Let's help you. Let's help protect your income and help secure your legacy. So that's one thing. Also, GFI is a fintech company. Okay, so we've been backed with $400 million, backed by Sequoia Capital and SoftBank out of Silicon Valley, to develop for the first time AI software that allows us to incorporate AI with life insurance. Now, life insurance as an industry has been around for hundreds of years. Some of the companies that we work with, as I mentioned, over 20 of them, some of them have been around for 180 years, which is insane. Like, can you imagine? So being around for that long, this was pretty much the one industry that really needed a revolution, really, to change how they streamline the approval process. So we incorporated AI technology with life insurance to where what used to take weeks to approve a policy now takes 10 to 15 minutes. The products that you guys probably have a policy right now. Well, the policies that we have, the products that we have are very, very different from the products that we're selling 2, 5, or even 10 years ago. So a lot of you need to have a policy reevaluation because what you currently have might not be efficient or sufficient enough for the ever-changing needs of your family. So that's one thing about GFI. We offer a free policy evaluation for free.
Right.
No cost to you.
Amazing.
So this is what we do. Personal financial evaluation. We do that for free. As a part of GFI as well, we give free living trusts and wills valued at just under $1,000 for free, just for sitting down with us and getting a policy and getting you and your family protected and covered. So that's one thing about GFI. So also we have proprietary software that allows us as agents to show people how we can protect their retirement savings from probate, taxation. Taxation is going to be the biggest factor for everyone trying to save for the future. Also, divorce, creditors who are coming after you. Me and Vanessa was talking about this at 1 p.m. Medical debt is the #1 burden for Americans right now. Can you imagine people who have these huge medical debts, but their assets are compromised and can be seized because a creditor could go to court and completely seize your house or your assets, especially if, God forbid, you get sick and your estate has to go through probate. What? We have products that protect you from probate, because probate can be one of the worst things that can happen for your family, especially if you don't have a living trust and will established. See, we offer for free. So it comes full circle. We can literally protect you throughout the gamut. Not only that, we protect you from lawsuits. We protect you from every single thing that can literally leave you financially devastated because of third-party risk. We protect you from that. And a lot of people don't know this, but life insurance is not for the dead anymore. It's for the living. Okay? You need these products, especially when, God forbid, you get sick, you get injured, and you're trying to battle through your illness. You don't want to end up in a rehab center, and because you own a home, the rehab center can force you to sell your house because they want their money, and because Medicaid won't pay for this and that. You know how many people are going through that right now? You know how many elderly people cannot keep their home, can't even transfer it to their children or even their spouse because, they have mounting debts. Well, you're going to have to sell your house or we're going to seize it. They've been doing this. They do this in New York all the time. You just don't hear about it. Hush, hush, you know? But this is what happens. We have the tools to protect you from this. And it doesn't matter who you are. If you're a small business owner, if you're a big business owner with 100 employees, or if you're just an employee and you just want to protect your little bit that you have, your little nest egg that you work so hard for, but you just don't want it compromised, we have the tools and the products for you. So please be able to schedule a meeting with us. Calendar is in the link. You can even just click on the calendar, schedule an appointment so that we can evaluate your needs and assess properly. As we would assess a patient, we will assess your needs accordingly so that you will have everything you need at your disposal. And of course, for me personally, I believe that I can help more people in this capacity than I ever could at any given night working as an ICU nurse. I'm only helping 2 or 3 patients maybe to stay alive. I can help entire families within an hour or 2 of my time. It just goes to show you, you know? So yes, I hope that spiel was pretty good.
That was fantastic, actually. just to let you know, I'm like, what? Huh? What? So this has been a great, great opportunity. I think that being someone who just got into the financial field, it's just something that, it's so much like nursing, but it's not in a way, it's caring for other people, but on a larger scale. It's you being able to be there for families where in the time that they need people the most, the very most. So we only have a couple of more minutes left. Listen, Miss Camille's time is very valuable, darling. So we're going to, we want to make sure that her time is really, because every time we get on these, she's running and doing something else. And
Oh yeah.
I am
Matter of
too,
fact,
because
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I actually have 6 policies to write at 7 o'clock for an entire family. I know the kids, the parents, everybody's getting covered. So I'm really happy I was able to get that done. Absolutely.
listen, congratulations. I don't know how I see these things most of the time.
I know, right?
So I am from New Orleans. But nevertheless, I'm so glad to have had this young lady, Miss Camille Scott Wiles, here. While I said we only have a couple of more minutes left because she's very busy. So what would you say, Miss Camille Scott Wiles? What would you say to a nurse right now who is grinding and grinding and just can't find an end, can't find I'm tired. I don't want to go to work tonight, which I didn't. I just skipped out on work. I was like, no, I'm sick. I kid you, tonight. That's exactly what I did. I was like, I got an emergency. I didn't tell them the emergency. I told them the emergency was me because I need a break, child. But anyway, so I do, girl. I'm tired.
Yes.
So what do you say to a nurse who is on his or her last leg, tired, just ready to go? What would you say to them?
Oh man, listen, you're not the only one, but of course, let me be an example. Let Vanessa be an example. Vanessa is still working. However, Vanessa sees the light at the end of the tunnel. Vanessa is actively planning her exit. You need to start planning now. Do not go by default. We all just going with the waves by default. Why? Knowing full well, you see the signs, you see that things are getting worse, you see how administrators are acting, you see how the agencies are acting, you see how the rates are acting, you see everything, all the red flags, and yet you're still going with the motions. No, stop and think and say, listen, how can I plan my exit and come into an industry where I can apply my skills, but I can make with one policy as much as I earn in a month? Because that's exactly what we can do. The products that we have focus on wealth management and asset protection, period. I just mentioned the amount of people whose assets are at risk because they get sick and they end up in a rehab or nursing home. Right. You can actually be on the other side of that and say, hey, listen, I know you're sick, I know you're injured, but guess what? We got this policy that protected you from income loss, and we're also going to protect your home, mortgage protection. We're also going to protect your assets. We're gonna make sure that your kids can still go to school, make sure that all your debts are covered, and make sure that you don't have to worry. God forbid you were to get sick and pass on. Right. I can help you. I was a nurse, but I'm now a financial professional. Yes. You can actually, and getting your license, by the way, is the easiest thing you can do if you become a licensed nurse. We have a great platform, especially for those who have been out of school for a while. I certainly was. The platform that we have is for visual learners. All you got to do is watch the videos and do the practice questions for each chapter. And then score 90% or above, and then move on to the next chapter. If you do all practice questions, all 800 practice questions, you're guaranteed to pass the first time. And you can pass the exam you can do the exam within a week. And you can do it within your own home. Depending on your state, you can actually do the state exam in the comfort of your own home. They look at you through the camera, and you can just get your license and be done. It's not as hard as you think it is, especially if you've been out of school. So just give it a chance, think about it. But of course, the main thing is even if you don't want to get your license, at least get your family covered. Right. We have fantastic products that can help you. And of course, when it comes to income, I know that working a job, you know that, okay, you're exchanging hours for dollars, and you know that you can get paid, but at what cost? Cost of you being tired, exhausted, you not seeing your kids. You know how many night nurses have a strained relationship with their children, even though they're buying them everything. This is Christmas time right now. You're buying all these gifts and everything because of this nice, wonderful nursing salary, but they really haven't seen you because you've been working all these jobs. Right. That's crazy. I mean, talking about strained relationships, talk about strained marriages. Where the husband is only there because, at least my wife have a good job. That's why I'm there. But it's like, no. Think about it for a minute. Everything else is compromise when you are sacrificing yourself for a corporation that's dictating your life and how you should live it.
And we
So
will
God,
place
start to
you. Yeah, I'm sorry. And we will place
instant.
you in the.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh my goodness. How many of our colleagues died during COVID? And yet
Yeah.
they were replaced like that.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Oh
Thousands.
my, thousands.
Mm-hmm.
So listen,
Yeah.
plan your exit. That's the last word of the day.
Right.
Plan your exit. And we can help you.
Yes. So if you guys are interested at all in any one of these products, or if you're willing to say, you know what, I think I'd like to make that jump to global financial impact, you don't have to do it full time right now. I'm doing it part time.
Right.
So, and you also earn as you learn. There is so much about this company. There's so much about the reason why we do this is because this is a great company. It's a great opportunity. It's a wonderful finance. You have dynamic people there.
Oh
We
yeah.
need people of all languages. If you're Puerto Rican, Dominican, come on. If you're from Laos or you're from Japan, come on. Because everybody across the board, everyone in the world, this is a global company, and we need global people. We need global leaders. We need leaders who are stay by and know, and the understanding that the road to personal wealth, financial stability is not an easy one. There are days you like, no. But that is a lesson for you to do more or do less or do something, but at least you're going towards your goal. So I want to thank this beautiful young lady, Miss Camille Scott Wiles, for being here. This is her song again. Girl, we're going to jam up on out here. I am so honored to have her as my mentor. I'm so honored to have her as my friend. Brooklyn bound, here I come. Oh
All
God.
right.
So to anybody out there who wants to get involved with GFI, anytime anybody wants to do anything with insurance or get into it or have questions, you have concerns or anything, please go into the link that's in our bio. Go to the calendar link, and you will definitely talk to Miss Camille Scott Wiles. Thank you, Miss Camille Scott Wiles. Go make that money, girl. Help some families. Do what you do best. All right.
All
So
right.
good night, everybody. Thank you so much, sister.
Thank
You
you,
have a blessed night.
Vanessa.
All
Absolutely.
right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.